take a water sip. So I just want to get on here and tell everybody that lives in the state of Texas that early voting starts tomorrow. And let's see, when does it go? When does it stop? I'm trying to see. I'm looking at the Texas Tribune paper. So I'm trying to, hold on one second. I'm going to go see early voting in Austin, Texas. Okay, so early voting starts tomorrow, February 7th through March the 3rd. So you got plenty of time to get out there and vote. I'm going to vote tomorrow. And I'm a registered Democrat, so that might be triggering to some people, but I don't care. So this is what we're going to be voting for. Federal, 1 U.S. Senator John Cornyn seat. All U.S. representatives under new congressional maps after they were withdrawn in 2025. For our state, we're going to be voting for the Texas governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, comptroller of public accounts, commissioner of general land office, commissioner of agriculture, one railroad commissioner, Jim Wright seat, 4 members of the Texas Supreme Court, 3 members of the Court of Criminal Appeals, 3 members of the 15th Court of Appeals, 8 members of the State Board of Education, 16 state senators for districts, all 150 state representatives, several chief justices of Court of Appeals, various regional Court of Appeals. Lower level judges and local county offices may also appear on the ballot, including county courts of law, justice of the peace, district clerks, county treasurers, county surveyors, county commissioners, precinct 2 and 4, various district judges, including on criminal and family courts. So that's what we're going to be voting for in the state of Texas. Now, when I go vote, because see, they're trying to stop a lot of people from voting here, I'm going to have my my driver's license, my voter registration card, and my passport. Because nobody gonna stop Janine from voting. I am taking all my identification because see, Texas is tricky. They like to play games with people. And before you go to vote, make sure where it is, because they like to change where you're supposed to vote. Because that happened to my sister, because she usually votes at the school close to her house. Then all of a sudden, they moved where she's supposed to vote for like miles and miles away, way out of the area that she votes in. So double check where you're supposed to vote. You can go online to check. So I strongly encourage you to go out and vote. If you don't like the way things are going and you don't vote, you don't have anything to complain about. You shouldn't complain if you don't vote. I have a cousin who's never voted and she's always complaining. And I said, well, do you vote? And she said, no, I never vote. So if you never vote, what are you complaining about? You got to be quiet if you don't vote. So I strongly encourage people, especially now in the state of Texas. The state of Texas has gone, hello, Fable Reyes, N7E, hi. The state of Texas has done a lot of things against women rights, no rights to abortion. Not that I'm for abortion, but I think everybody should have a right to choose. The state of Texas has done a lot of things as far as getting rid of education, funding for education. The state of Texas has done a lot of things as far as the rights of Black and Latino people. The state of Texas has done a lot of things as far as health, mental health services, getting rid of a lot of mental health services that people need, and also just a regular health care, bringing up the prices of what they call Obamacare, which is actually the Affordable Care Act, which came from Boston. Hello, SOPH1SO. I think it's SOF1SO. The state of Texas has gotten trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which actually they call it Obamacare, but that actually came from Boston. Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is the inventor of the Affordable Care Act, which Obama adopted. Obama was a Democrat, but he saw something good that a Republican did and decided to adopt it and make it the Affordable Care Act. And a lot of people don't realize that because they don't read. Hello, Bass Pro 66. People don't read. If you don't read, you're not going to understand what's going on. I read. I'm an avid reader. And so if you don't read, you're not going to know infinite wellness coaching. Hello. You are not going to know what's going on if you don't read. And then I've seen a lot of times people ask Trump supporters about different things that are in the Affordable Care Act. Hello, loves in the chat. Hey, thank you. People will ask different Trump voters about different things in the Affordable Care Act. And he's like, yeah, I'm for that. Yeah, I like that. But then they tell them it came from Obama. And then they're shocked. They're shocked because they don't read. There's so much information out there ready for you to read. Just pick up your cell phone. If you don't know something, information is so easy to get nowadays. There's no excuse for people to not know what's going on in their country, to not know what's going on in their city, to not know what's going on in their local government. Because the information is right in your hand, on your cell phone. The cell phones that we have more computing power than the big computers that they use to send people to the moon. That's how much power is in our hands. And people don't use it. So I'm telling you, I know I'm on a soapbox right now, but I get so angry when people don't know stuff. Because you can look on your computer and find out when the next football game is. You can go on the computer and look up Super Bowl chatter. You can watch the Super Bowl on your phone, but you can't look on your phone to find out stuff that directly affects you. And I know I'm sounding preachy, but this is how I feel. This is how I feel, people. So I strongly encourage you to vote. If you don't like the things that are going on in your neighborhood, if you don't like how they're taking education away from the children, because this country, they want people to be stupid. They want you to be dumb. They don't want you to learn, because when you learn, they can't control you. And it's all about fear. It's all about hatred. It's all about control right now. That's what they're doing right now. They're trying to control us with fear and with hate. And I know I'm going off, but I'm telling you, this is what's going on, and you got to educate yourself. And don't rely on the school system to educate your children about the history of this country, because they are not. When I was in school, this is Black History Month, and Black history is American history because we built this country. The filament in your light bulb came from a Black man. Open heart surgery came from a Black man. And they don't want us to know that. When I was in school, we learned about Martin Luther King, George Washington Carver, and we learned about Harriet Tubman, and we learned about slavery. But guess what? Black people were in America before slavery, because the Moors, the Africans, were selling people, and we sailed from Africa, around the Horn of Africa, to the Americas. And when I say the Americas, it's not just the United States. Okay? People think the Americas are just the United States. No, it's Colombia. It's Venezuela. It's Haiti. It's Cuba. We were a selling folk people. Our history did not start at slavery. We developed in Timbuktu in Africa. We developed the first university. We developed the first libraries. We developed poetry. Homer, Plato, they all went to Africa and studied philosophy. They brought their philosophy from Africa back to the European continent. And Africa is a continent. It is not a country. Okay? It's a continent. So educate yourself, people. Don't rely on anybody else to educate you. Crack open a book sometime. Read. They don't want us to read. They don't want us to use this. Use this. God gave us this. He gave us free will for a reason. He gave us free will, people. Use your mind. Use your mind. Once you educate yourself, they can't take that away from you. They can take everything else away from you, but they can't not take your education. And you don't have to go to a university to get educated. There are books. And I strongly suggest, if you don't have a library, start a library at home, because they're trying to take libraries away from us too. It's all about control, hate, and fear. But don't you fall for it. Don't fall for it. Get out there, people. Get out there, folks. Get out there and vote. And if you are really disgusted by the way things are going, run for office. It can be something local. It could be your local city council. Or if you want to work outside the system to make it better, be an activist. Advocate for what you want. My family has a long history of being an activist. My Aunt Ruby, God rest her soul, Ruby Russell, was an activist. Her son, Duke Russell, was an activist. I have that in my bloodline. We advocate for our folks. Okay? Ooh, Lord. Let me go ahead and get off this live. I worked myself up into a frenzy. Yes, they are trying to take away funding for libraries, because they're doing it right here in Texas. They're doing it right here in Texas. They're trying to take away funding for the library, because they say that there's not enough people going to a library. That's a lie. I go to the library. I see people in there all the time, and that's something else. If you don't have a computer at home, you can go to the library. You can check out. You can check out a laptop. You can. You have a library card, they will check out a laptop to you. People don't know that. You can get yourself a laptop at the library. There's a lot of things that you can get at the library. But if you never go, you won't know. If you don't go to the library, there's so many programs at the library that are free. If you don't know how to use a computer, they will teach you how to use a computer. They have free classes on computers. Go to the library sometime, see if I'm lying. They got free stuff for the children. They got free activities for kids. If you're looking for something for free to do with your kids, go to the library. They got all kinds of free stuff. I go to the library all the time, and it's free. I used to love going there with my sons to read. Okay. Good Infinity wellness coaches. My mom used to take us to the library every summer. She used to take us there to read. Even though we were out of school, my mom used to take us to the library, and she made us read during the summer because she said she wanted her girls to know how to read. She wanted her girls to be educated. She used to take us to the library. She used to take us to the museum because back then, the museums were free. They charge now. That's something else that they charging you for. But back in the day, the museums were free. When we used to spend all Saturday. And we go to the museum and we go to the library and we have a sack lunch. My mom used to make us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and some fruit cups and some little they call them ants in the log. It's celery, and you put peanut butter and then you put raisins on it. Or if we were lucky, she would make us a fried bologna sandwich. My mom would fry up some bologna, fry up the bread, put a piece of cheese on that, cut it for us, get us a little fruit cup and a little juice box, and we would spend the day out. We spend all day at the library and the museum because she wanted us to know about oh wow, is that down south? The library situation, yeah, that's in Texas. But when we used to go to the library and the museum when we were kids, we lived in Washington. We didn't live in Texas. We lived in Washington and Germany when we were kids. And my mom made sure we go to the library and we go to the museum because my mom said she wanted her girls to be smart. She didn't want her girls to walk around here not knowing things. That's where my love of books came from. My mother, she instilled that into us. You can make a really big, you can really influence your kids. People don't think that you can, but I remember that. And to this day, I still go to the library and I still go to the museum, although I have to pay to go to the museum. Marion Jones, C4M, hello, PVP. Hi. But although I have to pay to go to the museum, I still go. Because my mom, she instilled that into both of us, my sister and I. We love the library and the museum. And my mom also used to write plays. Because my mom used to work at the AYA, the Army Youth Association. And so my mom used to write plays. And we performed those plays. Army Youth Association was like a recreation center for the children of people who were in the Army. My dad was in the Army, so my mom worked there at the AYA, and she wrote plays. So that's why I love theater so much, and that's why I became a theater arts major, because of my mother. My mom used to write the plays. She used to make the costumes. She used to make the sets at the recreation center, and that stuck with me. That's why I became an actress. That's why I love the arts so much. It's because of my mother. So you as a parent you have a big influence on how your child is going to be. If you take your kid to the library, they're going to remember that, and they're going to go to the library when they get older. If you take your kids to the museum, they're going to remember that. If you take your kids to the park, because my mom used to take us to the park all the time. I love the park because of my mother. She used to always take us to the park. Those are the things that we did that were free back then. But see, now they're making you have to pay for it. They're making you have to pay. If you go to the library downtown Austin, Texas, you got to pay for parking. It used to be free. Parking should be free, but now you got to pay for it. But the libraries near where I live, the neighborhood libraries, you don't have to pay for it. But if you go downtown, anywhere downtown, you're going to have to pay for parking, and it's not cheap. But anyways, I'm going to get off of here. I got on a soapbox. I just went in. That happens to me sometimes because I am so upset by the way this country has taken a turn, in my opinion, for the worst. For the worst. The people are just walking around here not knowing stuff. And they don't want to know. A lot of people don't want to know stuff. I remember one time, this is before Trump was in office. This was when Barack Obama was running for office. I went to the grocery store. It was pouring down rain. It was freezing. And I had already voted because I always vote early. And it was freezing rain. I went to the grocery store. And there were some young people in there, like in their early 20s. And they were on their phones looking at stuff. And I said, hey, have you voted? No, I didn't know it was time to vote. Oh, okay, but you got that phone right and I said, well, you got that phone in your hand. I said, are you registered to vote? No, I'm not registered to vote. I don't know where to register. So I said, well, you can look it up on your phone. And I said, well, let me show you. Let me show you how to find out where to register to vote. And I did that to at least 5 different young people in that grocery store. They were all in their early 20s, and none of them knew anything. But they were all on their phone texting and whatever else they did, whatever else they did. But they didn't know a dang thing about voting. So I took it upon myself. And it was freezing rain outside. But I stayed in that store for 2 hours trying to help these young people get registered to vote, because you can register to vote on your phone. So I stayed in that store for 2 hours and helped people register to vote and help them find out where their precinct is and where to go to vote. Because it's very easy to find out. So easy to find out this information. But anyways, I'm going to get off this phone, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night, weekend, wherever you are. I'm sorry. I know I got on my soapbox, but I'm just fed up. Things got to change. Oh, I know a change is gonna come. Like Sam Cooke said, a change has got to come. And the change starts with you. You got to be the change. You can't wait for somebody else to be the change. You got to be a change. For I know a change is gonna come. Gonna come. Be the change. Be the change that you want. Starts with you, people. Love you guys. Bye-bye.